Alright guys, this is TJ and Sarah back with you again. I just wanted to come out here and let's do a little chicken talk. With the egg prices like they are currently, a lot of people are looking to get into chickens, and I think it's an awesome thing to do. I love messing with my chickens. I've had chickens probably going on 10 years now, from start to finish. I just enjoy spending time with them, and it's a hobby. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not a lot of work. They do require, you know, maintaining and seeing about daily. So if you're somebody that travels a lot, or you're not home all the time, it may not be for you. But anyway, jumping right in, I wanted to, if you're looking to get into them, your first question is probably, how many chickens do I need? And that has a lot of variables, depending on the size of your family, how often you eat eggs. But to give you an idea, 4 laying hens in their prime laying, which would, the first 2 years that they start laying, that's going to be their prime laying years. I hope you got, this might not have been a good idea to do it out here in the chicken pen, but hopefully you guys can hear me over the chickens. But hens will lay a good 3 to 4 years. Now, of course, it's going to take, they're going to be around the age of 6 to 8 months before they start laying, depending on your breed. Your white egg layers, they tend to start around 6, and some of your brown layers, but I like piddling with the blues and the greens, the dark browns, and those tend to weigh in around 8 months on laying versus 6. But it just depends on your breed mainly. But getting back to how many chickens do you need? If you've got adult hens in the prime laying, 4 hens would probably give you 15 to 20 eggs a week. So you can base it on that as far as what, you know, your family needs. Do you need a rooster? Not necessarily. That just depends on what you're wanting to do with your flock. If you're in a city that allows, you also need to make sure that you check with your city ordinances, if you are in the city limits. A lot of cities allow chickens, but they allow hens. They don't allow roosters because, as you can see, they're very loud. But if you're out in the country and you're where it's allowable to have roosters, you do not have to have roosters for your hens to lay eggs. They're going to lay regardless. But if you're looking to raise backyard chickens and produce your own chickens, of course you're going to need a rooster to fertilize your eggs, and give you fertile eggs that either your hens can lay on and hatch for you, or you can incubate yourself. Roosters are also a good protector for your hens. So if you are out in the country where predators, ground predators, air predators are a problem, roosters do tend to help protect your hens. The next question would be, if you're looking to do it, raise backyard chickens for more of a hobby, you know, you would want to decide whether you want standard size chickens, which is what I have, what you see walking around, or bantam breeds. Bantams are a lot smaller. They still produce eggs. They're just a lot smaller egg. If you're in the city and have small confined space, bantams may be a better option for you. And then you have to decide. You've got your meat birds, your egg layers, and then you got dual purpose birds. There's specific breeds to fall into all these categories. So you want to decide what you want to do. You know, if you're homesteading, if you live in the country where you want to raise chickens for meat, you need to look into the meat breeds. And I brought this catalog out here with me. This is actually McMurray's hatchery. I get a catalog every spring because I've ordered from this hatchery multiple times. But if I would advise that if you are looking into getting chickens, just look up a hatchery. McMurray, like I say, I highly recommend them. I've purchased day-old chicks through them several times. Good quality birds. But a lot of your hatchery catalogs, if you get them in the mail, and it's kind of like a wish book. Even though I've been in chickens for years now, I still love to sit down and look at these catalogs when they come in the mail, just to see the new breeds that they've come up with. But they're real functional catalogs because they categorize your breeds for you. A lot of them will. They'll have your meat breeds, your good layers, your dual purpose birds. They'll have it broke down into your standard breed or your standard size, your bantams, your ornamental. And while we're on that subject, let me touch on that for just a second. You have ornamental birds, exotic birds. I'm not knocking those. If you're a hobby or if you're looking for just to do them as pets, I highly recommend them to play around with. But keep in mind that a lot of those are exotic and not native to the United States. And so you need to keep that in mind as far as climate, extra care that they will need due to climate, and just educate yourself on the breeds. That brings us to heritage breeds versus hybrids. This is kind of like your heritage seeds or heirloom seeds in the garden versus your hybrids. Same concept. Your heritage breed of chickens are breeds that have been around for many, many years. They are bred to preserve those genetics. Hybrids, on the other hand, is where you cross two purebreds. You have a purebred over here that you have a lot of desirable traits that you want to cross with another purebred over here that have a lot of different desirable traits. You cross that, and the offspring is going to give you, hopefully, both of those desirable traits from both breeds. That is your hybrids. Back to your hatcheries, they will usually specify on each breed whether it's a heritage breed or a hybrid. Another choice that will be an option for you is egg color. You have white egg layers, which most people are the most familiar with in the grocery store. That's your plain white eggs. One of your most productive white egg layers would be your Leghorn breed. And that's mostly what you see in the grocery stores. Then you have your brown egg layers. A couple of those would be Rhode Island Reds, Morans. And then you have your blue egg layers, cream leg bars, true whitings. There's a few more. And then you have your green egg layers. Now, let me explain the green egg layers. They are a cross of a brown egg layer and a blue egg layer to give you a green egg layer. In some of these hatchery catalogs, you'll see them listed as olive eggers, sage eggers, your Easter eggers. You'll hear that term if you get into the colored eggs. Those are just mixes that are going to produce different colors of blues and greens. But your true blue egg layers would be, like I say, your cream leg bars, your true whitings, Aracanas, That's something else you would also need to research and learn about the breeds on those, because if you're looking to get a mixed egg basket and breed and produce your own chickens for that colored egg basket, you're gonna absolutely need a dark egg layer, chocolate brown, like a Moran's, to cross with a true blue egg layer, meaning they carry two blue gene eggs for the eggshell. So be sure you check into that if that's what you want to do. You have brown egg layers, you have blue egg layers, and then if you cross these, you get green egg layers. And you also, of course, have your white egg layers. Me personally, I like a colorful egg basket. As you can tell, I will introduce you to the egg song. This is when a hen lays an egg, this is what you'll hear. She's announcing that she's laid an egg, and then all the other hens usually chime in. But like I say, this is why I keep chickens, and this is my passion right here, the colored eggs. And I love playing around with the different colors, and that's what I breed for. But I wanted to share that with you too, so you can keep that in the back of your mind when you're trying to pick out your breeds. But that kind of gives you your basic rundown if you're looking to get into chickens, as far as their breeds, their sizes, the different options on that you'll come across that you're going to have to decide upon. Depending on your space and what you're wanting to do with the bird and your flock as an end result. Like I say, your typical hens are going to lay every 24 to 26 hours if they're in their prime laying years. So basically around 1 egg a day. But a lot of people are not educated on the fact, yes, chickens do lay every day versus other bird species that usually just nest and lay in the spring or the fall. Chickens do lay daily if they're in their prime laying years. However, they are seasonal to a degree. They start molting in fall, and what molting means is they start shedding their older feathers. They will usually start up around their head and work their way to the back of the body. In the losing process, they will look awful. You will wonder what in the world has happened to my chickens. This is a natural occurring process for chickens. During this time, they use all their calories and all their energy to produce new feathers for the winter. But during the time that they're molting, their egg production goes down a good bit and possibly ceases altogether. You will not get 1 egg a day from a hen. It may come to the point of 1 egg a week. Or like I say, they may stop completely. But once they start putting on their new feathers, you'll be amazed at how they just look so fresh and renewed, and they start back with their laying, and the egg production picks up significantly. So I just wanted to give you guys some information on that molting, because a lot of people are not aware that that is a natural process for chickens, and that happens after the bird is a year old. That does not happen with your 1-year-old birds, and the reason for that is from hatch all the way through their adolescent in that first year, they will molt many times. So once you hatch a pullet, a pullet is a female chicken, a young female chicken that has not started producing eggs yet, and a rooster, roo, cock is your male chicken. Just for some terminology for the newbies. But that young pullet like I said, she'll go through molting her feathers many times in her adolescence as she gets her new stages of feathers. And so therefore when she's 6 to 8 months old and she starts laying, she will lay through to that following molt season, which is the fall. But if your birds are over a year old, they will go through that molt. And again, that is completely natural. And like I mentioned earlier, a hen will lay a good 3 to 4 years, much longer if their environment is stress-free, if they're free roaming, if they have plenty of natural vegetation, a good diet. The lower the stress of the environment, the longer your chickens will produce eggs. But I think that's about all I wanted to go over this morning. I know that a lot of people are looking into getting into chickens because of the egg prices currently, and I just wanted to jump on here and just give you that little bit of information if you are looking into it and kind of confused at all the options, because if you're new to chickens and you dive into it, it is a whole different world, and there are a lot of options and things that you have to learn. So hopefully you found this video useful and learned something. If so, be sure and like and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be jumping on here with some more videos, some more tips about raising backyard chickens. I currently already have some videos up. If you guys have any interest in incubating your own chicken eggs, we're in the process of that now, and I already have a few videos out on that. I think we have 7 days to hatch, but I have one up about how I prepare my eggs that I'm going to put in the incubator, how I pick and choose, and what I'm looking for on eggs that I want to put in the incubator. We did a check-in on day 5, and I show you guys how to candle and check for fertility and the first stages of development. And then we checked in again on day 12 and done some more candling, and you're able to see the progression of the development. So be sure and check those videos out if you have any interest in incubating or want to learn about that process to see if that's something you might want to try. And if so, I highly recommend the Harris Farms Nutri-Right 360 incubator. That is an awesome incubator for beginners. It's completely automatic, meaning that it maintains the humidity, the temp. It has an automatic egg turner. I also have a video out on that. The title escapes me right this second, but it's basically how to set up your Nutri-Right 360 incubator. I'll be sure and put that at the end screen and link it in the description also. But I would highly recommend that incubator. I have been using those style incubators for 6 years now, and that is exclusively all the incubators that I use. I have about 5 of them, and I can't say enough good things about them. They have proven themselves to me time and time again. So I will also link that incubator in the description too if you guys want to check that out. But I guess that's all we have, and like I said, just be sure and hit that like. I hope you learned something, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.